One night, a military truck was transporting something extremely valuable under the cover of darkness. The soldiers were speculating about what it could be, maybe the Koh-i-Noor diamond, or perhaps the code for a nuclear bomb. But while arguing, suddenly, a car appeared in front of them. They somehow managed to save themselves, but the cargo truck collided head-on with that car. The precious cargo fell onto the road. The commander immediately reported the incident to the base. Many of their soldiers were injured and needed help, but their superiors didn't seem to care about the soldiers at all. They were only focused on one question: what's the condition of the cargo? The commander informed them that it had fallen off the truck and was now open. The moment they heard that, they ordered the team to evacuate immediately. Leave the wounded behind and run for your lives. What kind of nightmare was hidden inside that cargo? When it finally revealed itself, the commander was horrified. It was a dangerous human weapon created by the US government, and as soon as it was freed, it attacked the soldiers. Its name was Zeus. Bullets couldn't harm him. Within seconds, he slaughtered everyone there. Even the commander didn't survive. But then, what the hell? In just a few seconds, all those dead soldiers turned into zombies. And right ahead of them was Las Vegas. When they reached the city, chaos erupted, overrun by the zombie virus. Even the army completely failed to contain it. Among those soldiers was Scott's battalion, where in the end, only he and his partner Maria survived. The situation became so uncontrollable that the government was forced to build huge container walls all around Las Vegas. But now, a new report has surfaced. It said that in just 4 days, a low-yield nuclear bomb will be dropped on the city. Hearing the news, a businessman named Bly Tanaka came to meet Scott. He had $200 million stuck in a Las Vegas casino and wanted that money back at any cost before the bomb fell. He offered Scott $50 million for the job. He knew that after leaving the army, Scott was living hand to mouth. That money could give him a fresh start. The sum was too large for Scott to refuse. Before leaving, Tanaka handed him a map of the vault and said, "Get a team together fast. You'll need a safecracker and a helicopter pilot." Meanwhile, evacuation procedures were underway to move people from the Las Vegas quarantine camp to safer locations before the bomb was dropped. In the chaos, an Indian woman named Geeta, who had 2 children, was planning to go back into the city to steal some cash and get her kids out. It was a huge risk, because almost nobody who went into the city ever returned. Still, those desperate for money were sometimes snuck in by a female guard named Lily. Geeta told her friend Kate, "If I don't come back, take my kids out of here." But Kate grabbed her hand, refusing to let her go. She didn't want Geeta walking into certain death. Geeta wrenched her hand free, and at that moment, a soldier, Bert, spotted them struggling. Bert was a disgusting man. He never missed a chance to take advantage of helpless women in the camp. Somehow, both of them managed to get away from him. In the end, Geeta decided she wouldn't go inside the city. Meanwhile, Scott's wife had also been infected, and he was forced to kill her himself. His daughter Kate saw it happen, and from that moment on, she began to hate Scott. That moment became a nightmare for him. Every night, he relived that unbearable pain. Anyway, the next day he met Maria. The 2 of them had fought zombies together in Las Vegas before. The deal was worth $50 million. Scott explained everything to Maria and said, "Let's bring Vanderohe onto the team too. Each of us will get $15 million, and the remaining 5 will split among the rest of the crew." Maria agreed. After that, they met Vanderohe. He was ready to walk straight into hell for $15 million. Without a second thought, he accepted the offer. From there, they went to meet Peters. Peters had also served with them in the military. Everyone used to call her a daredevil. Even after all these years, she hadn't changed one bit. When she heard she'd be getting $2 million for a single day's work, she said yes without even asking what the job was. All she needed to know was that it involved a helicopter. That was enough. After that, Maria took Scott to a guy known for taking down 2 or 3 zombies with a single bullet, Guzman, who had millions of fans on YouTube. Scott offered him $500,000. Guzman agreed. The next morning, they met Ludwig Dieter, a master safecracker. He was stunned when he saw the vault map for Der Gotterdammerung. Dieter was offered $2.5 million. He'd been hunting this vault for a long time, so with money on the table, there was no way he'd say no. Once the team was assembled, they reached the location Bly Tanaka had given. Tanaka laid out the plan. His casino was inside restricted airspace. They couldn't land directly, but there was a rescue helicopter staged on the building's rooftop. They had to get into the city within 32 hours, fight their way to the casino basement within 2 hours, and find the vault. In the meantime, the pilot would keep the helicopter fueled and ready. By then, the safecracker would have opened the vault. They'd load the cash into the helicopter and depart before sundown because the nuke was scheduled to hit the next day. Hearing that, one of Guzman's friends bolted. Throughout the operation, Tanaka's head of security, Martin, would stay with them. He knew every corner of the casino and could be indispensable. The plan was to move out at 6 the next morning, but there was a big problem. How would they get permission to enter the city under such tight security? Scott had already thought of a solution. That night, he went to see his daughter Kate, who was volunteering at the Las Vegas quarantine camp. Kate wouldn't even speak to him at first. After a lot of pleading, she agreed to listen for 1 minute. Scott told her about a job that would pay her $15 million. Kate replied in disbelief, "You don't even have a single penny to give me. Where will you get $15 million? Once Scott explained everything, she finally agreed. On one condition, she had to get them into the quarantine zone. Meanwhile, Gita and 2 friends had already been secretly smuggled into the quarantine zone by the guard Lily to steal money. The next morning, Kate introduced Scott and his team to Lily. Lily would be the one to get them inside. After making the deal, Kate left, and then discovered that Gita had been missing since the previous night. Furious, Kate returned and smashed Lily's face. She was certain Lily had been the one to send Gita into the quarantine zone. What would happen to Gita's 2 small children? Thinking that, Kate decided she would go in herself. Scott begged her not to, but she refused. Threatening him, she said, "If you won't take me with you, I'll go in alone after you leave. Then my chances of surviving will be 0. In the end, Scott had no choice but to take her along. Just then, out of nowhere, Bert showed up. Seeing him, Lily told Scott that if they wanted to get inside, they'd need Bert's help. When he heard the offer of $20,000, Bert agreed to join their team. After that, they gathered helicopter fuel and other supplies, then headed to Lily's hideout. That's where she secretly smuggled people into the quarantine zone, without anyone ever noticing. As soon as they entered, they were stunned by the sight in front of them. There were piles of dead zombies everywhere, ones that couldn't survive the sunlight, but could come back to life with just a drop of rain. Lily knew this place better than anyone else. While talking, they finally reached the Vegas entrance when suddenly a zombie tiger appeared. Its name was Valentine. Once, she used to be part of the Olympus circus here. For a few moments, everyone waited for her to leave. Meanwhile, Lily sweet-talked Bert and asked for his gun, and the next moment, she shot him in the leg with it. Everyone was shocked. Then Lily explained that the alphas here had their own rules. There were 2 kinds of zombies in this city, shamblers and alphas. Shamblers were slow and completely brainless, while the alphas were fast, intelligent, and capable of thinking. And right now, they were in the territory of the alphas. So, to move forward, they had to make a deal with them. The truth was, Lily already knew about Bert's behavior, how he used to mistreat the girls in the camp. This was her best chance to teach him a lesson. She had tricked him into coming here and offered him as a sacrifice to the alphas, to please them and keep everyone else safe. Moments later, the queen of the alphas appeared, along with her partner Zeus, the same Zeus who had first spread the virus in Vegas. They accepted the offering and dragged Bert inside the Olympus circus building. Kate thought maybe Gita could also be trapped somewhere in there, but Scott refused to go inside. Slowly, they realized that Zeus and the Queen didn't just kill people randomly. They infected them in a very organized way and turned them into one of their own. Bert kept begging for mercy, but in the end, he too was infected. Meanwhile, even after the deal, Lily didn't trust the alphas, so she decided to take the team through the area where the shamblers lived. There were thousands of them, but as long as they stayed asleep, there was no danger. They just had to make sure no light hit their eyes. Martin was walking at the back of the group. Guzman's friend Chambers suspected that he might run off the moment things got dangerous, so she asked him to move ahead and told herself to stay at the very back. This led to an argument between them. Martin waited for the right moment, and when he got the chance, he threw the path light toward the wrong path for Chambers and ran away. Chambers saw the path light and followed that path, ending up trapped in a horde of zombies. Hearing the light and her noise, some zombies woke up. She tried her best to save her life and fought till the end, but when there was no hope left, Guzman shot her fuel tank and freed her forever. Somehow, they all managed to get out of there. Now, the destination was in front, the casino. They entered inside and took down every zombie that came their way. No unarmed person could survive even a single day in this dangerous place. Kate was fully convinced that Gita must have died by now. Then Lily revealed a secret. A few days ago, she had sent a man inside who somehow returned alive after 3 days. That man said that Zeus captures ordinary people, keeps them in his prison, and then infects them one by one, making them part of his clan. That man escaped before it was his turn. This meant there was still hope that Gita was alive. Meanwhile, Dieter found another blueprint of the safe on a table. This clearly meant that Bly Tanaka had sent a team before. When Martin was questioned about this, he flatly denied knowing anything. "I have no knowledge about this." Meanwhile, Scott feared that this team might mysteriously disappear like the first one, so he immediately assigned everyone their tasks. Peters and Maria were given the responsibility to refuel the helicopter. Lily and Martin were told to keep watch on the outside movement. Van der Rohe and Guzman were ordered to safely escort Dieter to the safe. Scott himself went to the third floor with his daughter Kate to turn on the generator. Since all the doors here were electronic, they couldn't be opened without power and access cards. As soon as the generator was switched on, their work began, but the danger also increased. With the lights on, zombies woke up. What followed was Van der Rohe and Guzman quickly piling up heaps of corpses. After that, they reached the real place, der Gotterdammerung. Seeing it, Dieter's eyes lit up. He was eager to open it. There, they found the remains of the first team, or maybe they belonged to some other gang. It wasn't clear, but it was certain they had died trapped by the door's trap. This made Van der Rohe's job easier. He planted a bomb on the gate and blew it up. Still, deadly traps could lie between them and the safe. Van der Rohe set out to tackle this issue. Meanwhile, the Alpha Queen had reached outside the casino searching for them. Lily had made the right decision by avoiding their territory. Indeed, they were not trustworthy. They were ready to attack at any moment. Meanwhile, Zeus had come to recruit one of Gita's friends into his horde. Just then, he heard gunshots and the Queen's scream. The moment the Queen tried to attack, Martin trapped her in his net. Her guard lunged forward and pounced on Martin. Right at that moment, Lily fired her gun and took down that alpha zombie. As soon as Martin regained control, he chopped off the Queen's head. Lily was stunned when she learned the truth. Martin wasn't there for the money at all. He had been sent on a mission to bring back the Alpha Queen's head. With it, they could control all the Alpha zombies. That was Bly Tanaka's real and biggest plan, to create his own army of Alpha zombies. Martin gave Lily a strict warning not to reveal this under any circumstances. But the real horror was just about to begin, because soon the Alpha zombies would find their Queen's body, and once that happened, stopping them would be impossible. Meanwhile, Van der Rohe had caught a zombie to help him disable the vault's traps. He made the zombie sniff a piece of a human hand and then tossed it toward the vault. That did the trick. The poor shambler triggered every trap along the way and finally got crushed in the last one. Now the path was completely clear, but their troubles were far from over. The helicopter they were supposed to escape in started spewing smoke from behind. Peters immediately got to work trying to fix it. Meanwhile, news channels were buzzing with one breaking story. The government had officially announced that a bomb would be dropped on Vegas on the 4th. Families of those still trapped inside were protesting, demanding to stop the strike. But due to growing public pressure, the government decided to drop the bomb today itself. In just an hour and a half, Las Vegas would be wiped off the map. This news sent a wave of fear through Scott's entire team. The vault wasn't open yet, and the helicopter wasn't ready either. They were completely trapped. They hurriedly split into groups and rushed to the basement, which messed up Dieter's entire process. The locker's dial ticking sound had to be carefully listened to in order to crack it. Now, it would take Dieter at least another 30 minutes to reach that point again. That meant they'd have just 1 hour left to escape. They thought that would be enough time, but that thought was about to cost them dearly. Zeus had already found the Queen's body. He held it close, mounted his horse, and rode straight to Olympus. In front of everyone, he tore open the Queen's stomach and pulled out his unborn child. But sadly, the baby was already dead. Seeing that, Zeus and his entire army went into a rage. Meanwhile, after some time, Dieter finally managed to open the Der Gotterdammerung. The entire vault was packed with stacks of cash, and everyone's faces lit up with excitement. But this was no time to celebrate. They quickly started stuffing the money into bags and began carrying some of it toward the helicopter. That's when Maria finally got the right moment to talk to Scott. Sure, she wanted the money, but the real reason she came here was Scott. She loved him, but he had never understood her feelings. Still, better late than never. Now they'd have the money and they'd finally be together. Meanwhile, Kate had suddenly gone missing. She was right behind them, but now she was nowhere to be found. On the other hand, the furious Zeus had already left Olympus with his army. Kate was hiding inside a car nearby. The Alphas were roaring in rage, ready to avenge their queen's death. Their zombie tiger Valentine was roaring alongside them. With just one signal from Zeus, they all stormed the casino. Scott instantly realized that Kate must have gone to Olympus in search of Gita. Without wasting a moment, he and Maria went after her. But as the elevator doors opened, Kate was captured by the Alphas. Maria was killed right before Scott's eyes. Enraged, Scott opened fire. The sound of gunfire echoed through the entire casino. Within seconds, piles of bodies were everywhere. But instead of their numbers dropping, more and more kept coming. Van der Rohe and Dieter were trapped down in the basement. The only elevator leading out had been destroyed when the Alphas broke in. Dieter and Van der Rohe unleashed a rain of bullets on them, but they just kept coming. They even shot at their leader Zeus, but it didn't affect him at all. In the end, Van der Rohe decided to take him on hand to hand, but he was overpowered. To save him, Dieter made a desperate move. He locked Van der Rohe inside the vault and got caught by Zeus himself. Meanwhile, Martin knew of a secret staircase that led up to the terrace. He started climbing it with Lily, but once they reached the top, Martin locked the door behind them. Lily begged him to open it, but he didn't listen. That had been Bly Tanaka's plan all along. Once the Queen's head was secured, everyone else had to be eliminated so there'd be no witnesses left. As for flying the helicopter, Martin knew how to do that. He just needed to kill Peters first. But when he checked his bag after getting outside, his blood ran cold. The Queen's head was gone. Before he could react, Valentine attacked him. The tiger slammed him around with brutal force, tearing him apart piece by piece. Within seconds, Martin was in pieces, and the tiger finished him off. Meanwhile, Scott, Guzman, and Lily had made it into the casino. The easiest way to the terrace was through the elevator, but to get there, they'd have to fight their way through. So they braced themselves and charged in. In no time, a flood of Alphas crashed down on them. There was barely any time to reload their guns. The situation became so intense that even a split-second pause could have meant death. Scott, being a strong and skilled fighter, was using both his gun and his hands and feet effectively. Meanwhile, zombies overpowered Mikey Guzman and bit him. That's when he opened the grenade's tins. Seeing this, Scott and Lily ran for their lives just in time. The next moment, a massive explosion went off. Guzman was gone, taking dozens of Alphas with him. Meanwhile, Kate had made it inside Olympus. With all the Alphas in the casino, she faced no trouble, at least for now. But danger was about to strike because Bert was there, fully transformed into an Alpha himself. Somehow, after fighting through, Scott and Lily reached the terrace. By then, Peters had fixed the helicopter. Just as they were about to leave, Zeus arrived. Lily quickly pulled out Zeus's Layla's head from the bag and aimed her gun. Scott was stunned, but Lily didn't have time to explain everything. She just said, "Go find Kate immediately. I'll hold him off here." She was confident that as long as she had Zeus's Layla's head in her hands, he wouldn't make a move. Unfortunately, she was wrong. The moment her attention wavered, Zeus struck her with a metal rod. But before dying, Lily threw Layla's head off the terrace. It shattered on impact. Meanwhile, Kate successfully found Gita, and most importantly, she hadn't been bitten. Zeus chased the helicopter back toward Olympus. At this point, Scott started worrying that Peters might betray them and fly away because there were only 9 minutes left before the bomb dropped. Before leaving, he warned Peters, "Don't betray us. My daughter's life is at stake." Then he went into Olympus to search for Kate. One of Gita's friends fell into Bert's hands. As soon as Ken shot her, Scott got their location. He ran toward them with all his strength. By then, Zeus had arrived, and with a single signal, the Alphas attacked. But before they could reach, Kate took them down one by one. When it came time to face Zeus, she ran out of bullets. Zeus charged at them at full speed. Kate closed her eyes in despair, and at that moment, Scott appeared. He fired at Zeus, and then they both ran upstairs. When they reached the terrace, Peters had already taken the helicopter. With no other option but death, they were trapped. Then Peters returned, hiding behind the building. Without wasting a second, they boarded the helicopter. But just before they could take off, Zeus jumped inside. Peters tried every maneuver to evade him, but he still managed to get in. A prolonged fight broke out between him and Scott. Peters was a pro-level pilot. Despite all the turbulence, Peters managed to fly the helicopter out of Vegas. In the sky, they saw the nuclear bomb descending, obliterating the city below. In the chaos, Zeus bit Scott, but Scott shot Zeus in the head and killed him. The blast from the bomb eventually caused their helicopter to crash. Somehow, Kate and Scott survived. Peters and Gita, however, were dead. Scott had been bitten too, meaning he was about to turn. But before that, he managed to give Kate a stack of Nodo's cash. It wasn't much, but it was enough for Kate to take care of Gita's children. After Scott turned, Kate had no choice but to put him down. Only then did she understand that Scott had done the right thing by stopping his mother after she turned. There was no cure for this disease. Meanwhile, somehow Van der Rohe had survived and made it outside. Later, he found a car, loaded all the money, and drove to Utah, where he had booked a private jet. During the journey, his condition worsened. With the help of a flight attendant, he managed to get to the bathroom, only to realize he had been bitten as well. At that moment, the captain announced that the flight was ready to depart for Mexico, which meant the chaos was about to hit Mexico next. So friends, that was the story of Army of the Dead. Hope you enjoyed this zombie adventure. And yes, don't forget to like and subscribe before you go.